Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another non-Marvel superhero month. And unfortunately, we got to go through another turd. This is a 2010 DC movie that completely fails in every way. It's a movie that should have never been made the way it was, and it's not like this character was a bankable character anyway. And that is the 2010 disaster, Jonah Hex. What the hell were they thinking with this movie? You had a good actor in the lead, Josh Brolin, who I just saw in Men in Black 3. He was great, by the way, as young K. But here he's bored out of his mind. I mean, he does a southern accent. He does the raspy voice. Yeah. He doesn't he just looks coked out of his mind in this movie. He's the best. He does the best he could with the material, but it's awful. Like, this film is slow. It has very little action. The film is ugly and dark. Megan Fox is a terrible freaking girl. She does a southern accent that couldn't stick for 5 freaking minutes. I mean, she's like, oh my god. Yeah, there's a reason I know I don't talk about Megan Fox here on YouTube because she's a horrible actress. Like, I liked her when I first saw her in Transformers 10 years ago. I admit she was hot. Then she did a bunch of other films and proved that she cannot act and got worse and worse and worse and is bisexual. Yeah, not exactly my kind of girl to run up to, and admire. Sorry, I have Scarlett Johansson and freaking, Lucy Hale and Natalie Portman and a bunch of others that can kick the snot out of Megan Fox. Megan Fox sucked in this movie. She has no charisma. She has no chemistry with Josh Brolin, and she's just dead weight. Michael Fassbender's wasted in this movie. He has a derby hat and he has like an Irish accent. He's annoying. I wanted to punch him in the face. I'm like, I'm not a fan of him because he's a Brit. And I told you people, Brits are a no-no for me in most films, or actors pretending to be British that don't measure up. I'm sorry. He's annoying. The special effects, they're there. The makeup on Jonah Hex's face when they mark his face and he's out for revenge, that's okay. That looks fine. But the fact that they changed his origin or whatever, that he can talk to like dead bodies or some shit, I'm like, what is this? What is this? This is not freaking Jonah Hex. You want to see Jonah Hex done right, besides in the comics? Watch the episodes of Legend of Tomorrow that he was in last year. That was Jonah Hex done much better. Better freaking writing, an actor that gave a shit and actually, he served a purpose. Here, just Josh Brolin looks so bored. Like, I don't blame him. I blame the script, the directing, and I blame the writing, and I blame the freaking studios for saying, "Oh, this movie needs to be 75 minutes long." This movie isn't even a third of what The Dark Knight is, or Batman Begins, or even Green Lantern. This movie's so short; it's shorter than a lot of superhero films today. Again, why was this movie made, Warner Brothers? Why? Did you really think that Jonah Hex was Batman, that he could carry his own movie? He could, in the hands of some good directors or good writers, not this whoever the hell wrote this movie. It's boring. It's a western. Westerns are not bankable. Have you seen The Lone Ranger from 2013? Did you see Cowboys and Aliens? Good movie, but it flopped. Even the remake of Magnificent Seven, the other remake that came out last year, it didn't do as well as the original American version. It didn't. Chris Pratt, they said he was good, but the movie was bloated and boring and it couldn't measure up to the 60s version. Westerns are just not that bankable anymore. The last one that came out the same year as this was the remake of True Grit, which I've seen the original. I like the original. I think it's good. But mostly westerns are just boring ass movies where nothing happens. It's like really slow. I'd rather see Priest than this. At least Priest, Carl Urban had gave more of a shit in his performance than Josh Brolin. Brolin was probably on a drug trip in this movie and had to wake up. I am so glad he's playing Thanos in Infinity War and he's playing Cable in Deadpool 2 because DC had no idea what to do with Brolin. They were like, "Oh, he's a bankable star," and he is in a way, but you made him the most boring freaking Jonah Hex ever. This film is lifeless. It has the same problem Van Forstick has. Boring. Also, this is just as bad as I think the Amazing Spider-Man films, because those movies are just long and they suck the life out of everything. This is just, an atrocity. People don't bitch about this movie as much as other comic book movies. Like, they always put Batman and Robin, Superman 4, Catwoman, Elektra, this and that. This is also one of the worst, because this was one of the worst films of 2010. I didn't like it, and I'm glad that I didn't buy this on DVD. I saw this in the library for free because it's a shitty film, and I knew that going in. But I had no idea what a letdown of a film it is. It's ugly. It's boring. It's lifeless. The actors are not even trying. I don't even remember who the villain was. I think it was John Malkovich. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it's just it's a terrible movie. If you've seen Jonah Hex, I felt sorry for you because it's a freaking turd. DC could do better, and they did. They brought back the character in Legends of Tomorrow, and they gave him some dignity. And he's a character that's interesting on paper, but in his own film with the wrong people, it becomes a disaster. And this was a flop. I'm glad it bombed. I'm glad Iron Man 2 cleaned its clock. I'm glad DC never made a sequel to this, direct to video or anything. They knew Jonah Hex was not good enough. So, yeah, I don't like Jonah Hex. This movie sucks, and it is a DC property. So don't say, "Oh, it's a Marvel." No, he is in the DC universe, so it counts as a movie. Because with Kick Ass, I didn't know Marvel Icon was owned by Marvel, but it's a turd. It's one good scene, and there's a scene where he's on this machine that has this Gatling gun and he shoots it. It's like a minute long. It's not very long. It's one scene. It's there, but it doesn't save the movie. This film is boring. It's tedious. It's forgettable. That's the key word. Forgettable. I'd rather sit through freaking I'd rather sit through Green Lantern. I'd rather sit through Batman Forever. I'd rather sit through Superman 3. I'd rather sit through Superman Returns because I like him, Brandon Routh as a lead. He doesn't look bored out of his skull, and the film is really well. It's actually colorful. It has color. This movie barely has any color. Well, Megan Fox's corset, she can't act. She sucks the life out of everything in this movie. And I didn't see Jennifer's body because I've heard it's terrible. Diablo Cody is trying to be hip, and the script is terrible. I'm sorry, Megan Fox, get out of Hollywood. You can't act. You can't. There are actresses that are way better looking than you that act way better. Grace Phipps from the TBM movies from Disney Channel. Gorgeous and she can act. I've seen her. Okay? I mean, this movie is just it sucks, man. It really does. I'm glad that it bombed because if it was a hit, we would have had shitty sequels to deal with, like the Blood Rain films. But thankfully, Jonah Hex has been forgotten. It's a terrible comic book movie. It doesn't even feel like a superhero film. It feels like a low budget B list freaking spaghetti western, but in English. But anyway, I don't like this movie. I'm not going to be like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. I forgot about it. So it's not a movie that I really need. It's not like Man of Steel that has stuck with me for years and it still haunts me. And that was a success. This was not. So when a movie bombs and it deserves it, it's a good thing. And I'll leave you with this. Don't see Jonah Hex if you haven't seen it. It is not worth your time. You can see better movies that came out in 2010. Much better movies. See Toy Story 3. See Iron Man 2. See freaking uh what else came out in 2010? The Expendables. That's an awesome freaking movie. There's tons of action. It's short and it's badass. This is just bad. So anyway, thanks for watching my rant on Jonah Hex. It's a turd. It sucks. It's not a good movie at all. So short and it has a ton of shortcomings. And it's just worthless and forgettable. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Subscribe, like, and comment. If you've seen Jonah Hex, tell me what you thought about it. Rip it a new one because it's not. It sucks. But anyway, I will see you in the next one. Later.